and we're finding an easy seat this morning to begin class in just a really beautiful, breathy way. Any spot that's comfy for you, but I would definitely encourage the use of something soft like a blanket, or you could have a little pillow or something nearby. We're going to do a whole bunch of seated things in the beginning this morning, so getting comfy is definitely important so we can focus on our breath. And then I like to take fingers to the low back before we begin and just kind of feel around. If you find any knobby protrusions, that means that you're hunkered in. So then we'll want to boost our hips up onto something a little higher so we have that beautiful natural arc in our low backs. And then as you're getting comfy, if we need to get any movements out, just to find 3 breaths of stillness, any movements you may need to get really settled, please take those now. And finding your way into stillness when it feels right for you. Bringing our palms facing up is my favorite way to start class, unless you're feeling jittery from too much caffeine or something. In the morning especially, we sometimes need a little boost of extra energy. And it can feel really life-affirming to open yourself up to the beauty, the joy, the happiness, the pleasure that our yoga practice has to offer us. When we begin with palms up, envision your in-breath soaking in all of those beautiful qualities. We're breathing in through our noses and then a big sigh of exhalation out through our mouths. Let's try 3 of those together, any length. If you can make them really big and boisterous, that feels so nice in the morning. And you're on mute, so if you have a loud sigh, don't worry about it. 2 more like that, bringing in some joy, happiness, positivity, all the good things life has to offer, and then settling into our bodies on the exhalations. Breathing in some openness, light into dark spots. Exhaling deeply. Returning our breath to normal, however it feels great for you to breathe, with palms down towards our mat or on our legs, maybe our knees, somewhere where we feel a little grounded here. I like to bring them out wider because we're starting with some Sufi grinds, some circular movements in our bellies, while maintaining that big, beautiful breath, warming up and just welcoming our low backs to our practice. And then taking a moment to observe your breath. You may have already figured out where you're really feeling it, whether it's just your nostrils, that simple flow of air in and out, possibly into your chest, feeling an expansion and a contraction, maybe all the way, diaphragmatic breathing into your belly. We could feel a rising and a falling through our belly. No right or wrong, just noticing, observing with compassion and kindness. And then allowing ourselves to breathe a bit more freely, deeply, gently, softly. 1 more big circle each way. Adding in some neck stretches. So you're welcome to continue circling and just drop your neck and swing. But if you know you have a cranky neck, let's find stillness. Drop your chin to your chest just to check in, but really pull up through the back body. And slowly circle right ear to right shoulder. Might feel great to close your eyes and immerse yourself in your breath. See if you can stretch your chin up to the sky. And then the same thing the other way. Now, as I said, you're welcome to continue moving if you know you have a healthy neck and you just want to kind of swing around a little bit as you're making your body circles. But otherwise, we're staying still and lifting our chin a little bit. 1 more each way, and then we're adding in a little bit of arms. Sit up really tall, stretch out long through the tendons, muscles, and ligaments in your neck. Switch sides. And if you still have your belly rolls going on, let's come to the center. Neck becomes neutral, sitting up really tall, lifting up through your left arm. Palm faces down, stretch out at shoulder height, and then tip your head over to the right side. Try to feel really long in the left side of your neck. Then I like to switch my arm towards the floor, switch down low through the left fingers, like you're chasing the floor behind you. And do anything with your chin that makes your stretch a little bit more intense on the left side. Feeling that releasing sensation in the left shoulder, I hope, as well. Rise back up. Neck is neutral. Left arm lifts. Eyes up. Let your arm fall. Right side is the same. Breathe in. Turn palm down, stopping at shoulder height, and then drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Remember to sit up tall here. Right fingers might start chasing the ground lower, behind you, wherever we get a more intense sensation on the right side neck. And then I love to move really slowly through my chin. Might even wiggle your jaw like you're trying to pop your ears on an airplane. All of those can enhance your neck stretch. Rise to sky when everything feels good. Fingertips and eyes. Oh, and let's untangle our legs. Fingers fall behind us. Let your legs rise. If you need a little help untangling, go ahead with your hands. And give a little swish side to side. Feet as wide or wider than the mat. And a bit of a windshield wiper here to wake up some hips. Taking a moment to swish as much as it feels good, but when you're ready to land, we're staying over to the left side. And again, we might need something cushy under our left cheek. We're gonna sit right on our left cheek for a modified pigeon, both knees bent, and then rounding the corner to the left for a tiny twist, round the corner to the right for a tiny twist. If your low back is sensitive, we could keep hands down and just swivel through the torso tiny. Eyes can stay down on the floor for our neck safety. Or if you feel good, we might want to get a little bit of a bigger boost through hands, eyes looking towards our back walls. And the whole while we're thinking lifting and then twisting. Let's try 4 more like this. Feels so good to warm up our hips. Hopefully you're feeling glutes and outer thighs. Staying over to the left side whenever you arrive. Really lift. And then guide your eyes back towards your left fingertips. If you feel strong and uplifted, left fingertips can rise. One more big breath. If your fingertips rose, we may have felt a whole bunch of right side action. That's really nice. Left hand falls, right arm rises again, and then a big lateral stretch where we just felt that crunch reach out. Very soft, buoy-like, really buoyant on our left hands. Always finding a little bit of play, a little swivel or stillness if that feels better for you. Top arm falls right over the left knee. And then lazy cat your way on out. Reach a little bit more. Putting something soft in the belly can be a very nice hug, a welcome addition to warming up our digestive system. If possible, we're going to bring fingertips somewhere that we feel supported in our chest to do just a couple push-ups here. Elbows come wide like goalposts. And it's okay if we're not able to get that low. We can just stay in a semi-folded version of our modified pigeon. Otherwise, we're coming a little lower to feel a deeper stretch over this left leg. And if it's right, spinal undulations, flattening out our backs on the way down, tucking chin and rolling angry cat style through the ascent to the top. Inhale, lower. Exhale, rise. Finding length, finding a little bit of movement through our bellies again here. If we're at the top and that feels like the place we'd rather stay, you're welcome to do a little press forward, belly forward, tail, top of head back, and then a curl in, staying high and finding these baby cat-cows up here. Going through 2 more rounds of breath. Pausing in whatever form of modified pigeon feels good. I'd like a little bit of a more upright posture if possible. And I just want you to gently scissor your thighs together. Give your inner thigh muscles, your pelvic region, a big squeeze in. Might feel belly tighten. Just squeezing, just holding, like you could scissor your thighs together here. 3, 2, and 1. Release. All right, it might take a minute to get out of here. Let's lean back. See if our legs can untangle themselves. Bring them forward for some more swish. If you're stuck, it's okay to help your legs forward. And there's no rhyme or reason to this. We just want to reach our legs out, swish out any tension. So if something else feels better, like a push or pull, we're always listening to our bodies. A confident practice is intuitively moving with compassion and kindness to what our bodies and minds are craving. Whenever you're back at the right, we're just going to pause there. Finding a really comfy spot if you need something under your right cheek and sitting heavy in that cheek. Beginning those little twists, whether our hands are static and we're just twisting around here through the torso. Eye gaze always helps us, so eyes could be down in a little swivel around the corners. Or we can use our arms to lift and twist. Lift and twist. Lengthening out every time we come to the center and we drop in. Let's re-lift, twist around the corner. So our spines are really long and we get this beautiful wringing out action if you have a tired or a cranky low back. This is a great one to do. Just offering a release here. One more each way. We're landing on over to that right side for a second. Let's hold this twist just for a moment longer. Do we want to lift up through our right fingers? Swivel them a bit more behind us and peek towards our right fingers. If we're staying static, just track your eyes a little bit more towards the right side, allowing your torso to follow your eye gaze. Swiveling back to center, right arm stays, left arm rises. If you felt a big crunch in your twist there, lengthen out your left side. That feels so nice. Think about lifting your ribs away from your hips. All that space that may have been crunched in and dark and tight is now open. Thinking golden white light flooding your breath down in there. Lots of positivity. Top arm drops. Hands walk out. If it feels good, like a lazy cat stretching out in the sunlight. And if we didn't get that low, that's okay. Put something under your belly. You could remove your prop or grab an extra one to really cushion up. Get comfy here for just a moment. The push-ups are really just an optional add-on, but they are nice to warm up our wrists before we get moving today. If you're able to take your hands wider, like a goalpost formation, think about bringing your chest a little lower and then rise back up. A little weight into the wrists, rise back up. Love to use my breath here. So I breathe in to lower and then a exhalation when things are a little tougher to get me through that move. Inhale. Spinal undulations. Do you want to flatten out your back on the way down? And then curve it on the way up. Even if we're staying up high, we can do this, right? Flat and then round. It might be a lifted baby cat-cow we have going on. Actually, I think this is a little harder up top to move gracefully. So whatever we're doing, we're slowing down to try to find ease, liquidity in our spine. 2 more rounds of breath. Last one, inhale and exhale. Climbing back up to seated, keep your legs. If we have any little tingles in our legs, that's good. That's new energy coming in. And let's think about scissoring our thighs together. Think about thighs, crumpling your mat, groin squeezing, maybe your ankle squeezing towards your knee. Anything you can to squeeze for 3, 2, and 1. That feels good to let go. Knees rise. Do what feels best. You might need a wide leg. If your knees want a little massage, a windshield wipe, anything to free and clear your legs, your hips, your belly, your back. All right. One more big breath in. And we're finding seated figure 4. So let's lean back for a second, guys, with our feet flat and attempt to really lift your navel towards your thighs. I like to scoot my buttons side to side to free up your tailbone so it's not smushed any flesh underneath. And then also feel your sits bones anchoring in. Fingers turn however your shoulders feel open. And let's lift our bellies towards our thighs. Think about blowing up a balloon underneath your collarbone so everything feels expansive. More room to breathe into now. If your shoulders are hurting, feel free to turn your fingers. No tension back there. Leaning back again, let your belly fall and lift your left leg. Now we may want to straighten our right leg, crossing over for figure 4 if possible. Walking right foot in as much as you can, and then play with your hips. So you're gonna lift your hips and scoot them back for less intensity, more straight right leg, or forward, more bent right leg for more intensity. No matter where you've chosen, we're gonna come from our crunch to our open, expansive breathing. Strongly flexed left foot And we're attempting to press our left knees away to open up our hip flexors. Always welcome to swing, sway, whatever feels good. And when you're ready, left foot's falling to the earth. See if you can lift yourself up a tad bit, attempting to connect to the earth here and then scoot your buns around so your left sits bone is down. Couple adjustments. We might want to straighten our right leg to make this more accessible, or uncross our left foot, put it right in front of our shin. Finding our way to a gentle, loving seated twist, moving around again to free up any flesh stuck under sits bones and your tailbone, and then give your right leg the biggest, most loving hug. Thanking your body for showing up for you today, for moving, breathing, and being just wonderful on the mat. Great way to start our Fridays together. One more tiny twist. We can hug and twist, looking over the left side body, or we can bring our arm around for a mental high five to yourself. Lift up just a tad bit, and then twist around the corner. Just a warm up, folks. So nothing too intense in the right shoulder blade, but feel that opening happening back there. We squeeze a little tighter, we can feel more in the left outer thigh down into our glutes. Take another big breath in, unswivel on your exhalation, untangle your legs again. One more time here. Let's just give them whatever they need, a swish, a straightening, a massage, a jiggle. And then when you're ready to lean back, we're going on the other side. All right, finding our chests first. Lift up. That's how I want to feel, even when my leg is crossed over. So then I can let my back round again to find right foot lifted. Left leg can come straight for my figure four. And once I've found that I do whatever's necessary, more space between buns and heel is a bit more accessible. Less space is a bigger stretch. Right foot flexed strong. Fingers are turned out so we have no pain in our elbows or our shoulders. Right knee pressing away from chest, and then we uplift with a beautiful in-breath. Feel free to close your eyes here. Really immerse yourself in your breath for this big warm-up stretch. And see if you can unclench somewhere in your facial muscles. I love letting go. Bottom jaw from top. Even your tongue can rest heavily on the back of your bottom teeth. Eyes, we unfrown in the forehead, release tension between brows, corners of eyes, wiggle through your nose, little upturn of the corners of your mouth, all the other tension can go. In your time, slowly dropping, right foot to the floor, may require us to wiggle around a bit through the buns and really find our roots, find our placement. Remembering the options include straightening left leg, or keeping left leg bent, but simply uncrossing to the outside of your shin bone here, wherever you can squeeze and feel sensation through the right outer thigh. Just give yourself the biggest hug. But as you're hugging with your arms, sit up really tall. A tall spine will enable us to twist a little bit. Draw your navel in, and then twisting to the right. Just the eye gaze may want to come. See if your chest and shoulders want to follow. For a deeper expression of this posture, we can give ourselves that high five or maybe a little pat on the back, whatever works. Lifting and pressing down through right fingertips to go and swivel. Feels great for the lower left back, doesn't it? Softening up somewhere again on the facial muscles. Observing right here, noticing where the breath is, trying to direct it a little lower than when we started our class. And then on this last breath together in this posture, see if we can give a bit more of a twist. Exhalation allows us to unwind. And then as we find freedom through our legs, our final seated posture before we move, might find a little pinch in our thighs or groin area here, is a bound angle. So do what you can to get there. It could look like a big diamond if that's more comfy, and we can have props under knees to help us sit heavy. And then trying a little bit of apple picking. I know it's not the fall yet, but maybe we think about like a really high blueberry bush and it's blueberry or blackberry picking. So we're reaching up, lengthening our sides, reaching up, lengthening our sides. And then we kind of get this picking process going. Lift, Or rope climbing. I'd rather pick fruit though. Reaching up for 4. 3 breaths. 2 more big ones. Feels good to rock side to side here, doesn't it? And then stay as long as you can. Both arms reach up, seeing where we can fold now that we've found this beautiful length. Again, cuddling up something under belly can allow us to just surrender to our stretches. Otherwise, as long as we can be in torso, then let go. Like you're a blanket being draped across the back of a couch. Really loosen up here. I always invite movement into our postures, but that doesn't mean you have to take it if you're so comfy and settled. But I do love a little sway side to side, like rocking on a boat, to check in with our low backs. If we encounter some tension, might feel great to really rock around that spot, or give a little twist and turn, giving it permission to leave if it's tension. When you're ready, my friends, using our hands to support us up, let's get some more feeling into our wrists. Might want to close our legs with our hands, and then we're really slowly making our way around the corner. We did a bunch with our hips so far, so easy, graceful movements to find our tabletops. With tucked toes if you can, get your feet warmed up. And once our hands come under our shoulders, we begin this little swing and sway like we just did in our bound angles, but in every direction, like you can't get your balance on that rocking ship. Play with moving knees back a little bit. See how that feels, getting more into the core, shifting weight forward to get more into the wrists. When you're ready, see if toes can tuck if they're not yet there, and we hover our shins. That's tough, I know. So it might be a quick hover and then a place back down, a quick re-hover and a place back down, getting into the core muscles here. And then when you're ready, a little cat-cow, but undulate your spine like you did before. Maybe it's a rolling cat-cow. Belly to floor, we might want to push ribs one way, push ribs the other, then refine cat, rolling forward and back. And if you like our good old plain vanilla version where it's just a roll up and a roll down, that feels safe and comfy and loving for you, please do it. Just feeling into all of our spots. So I love to open my belly in this part and kind of like puppy dog wag through the tailbone. You're really gonna stretch open your belly, which feels great right here. Spinning fingers any degree out and around, one hand or both at the same time. Take one more rotation or switch hands if you were only using one. And then let's bring our fingers to swivel in, palms on the mat, with our middle fingers pointing towards one another. We're gonna do tiny little push-ups here. Chest comes down low, but I wanna solidify my belly. So I'm gonna draw navel up towards spine and then snap them in together. So as we're lowering, we're breathing, we're filling up here with strength and energy. We're also protecting our low backs. Breathing in for 3 and out. If your toes are tired, you can let those go and squinch them up. Last one, breathe in and out. Great job, guys. Let's find a plank and see how we feel. Swivel forward. If you need a stretch, put backs of hands down, or we can so slowly shake out our wrists. But when you're ready, a soft plank or a modified plank. Knees step back. We swing and sway a little bit just to check in and ask our wrists, are you ready for action? I love to think of plank as this like moving meditation, breathing, guiding our bodies, strengthening our bodies, but not thinking of it as stiff or forced or too tight. Just a beautiful flow of movement in this position. Drop to knees, child's pose, but when we find it, tuck your toes, please, because we're finding child's to scoop up to down dog. Scoop your hips back and up. Soft bend in your knees so we can really lengthen out our spines. Think about sending shins forward and thigh bones back. And then are you able to drop ears further back under elbows to create this ski slope shape in your back and really open up your chest? Invite movement in if your body loves that. Find stillness and breathe length into your bodies if you like that Just a bit of a rolling sequence. Drop your knees. Coming into child's with tucked toes again. Scoop hips up to downward facing dog. Still soft knees for a long spine. Roll forward to plank or modified plank. Right back to child's. Scoop up to downward facing dog. Roll forward to plank. And this is always going to be every movement we make at our pace. Our breath is dictating our movements. Any breath for each movement. Let's follow it like it's a dance. The breath guides the movement. Now, if you feel good where you are this morning, we're going to take out the kneeling portion and we're crouching back instead. So instead of child's, we hover our shins like we did in our tabletop, scoop back up, and then roll forward to plank. Alternatively, the whole thing can be done on our knees. Kneeling child's, a dog, elevate knees here, and then a modified plank. Let's try 4 more rounds wherever you are. Shoulders feeling okay? Breathing some warmth, some energy into them. Last 2. If it's taking you longer to make it through your 4, you're never in a rush for your yoga practice. Take as long as you need. Quality of movements. 1 breath in plank once you've arrived. And then drop to your knees, your shins. Coming towards a kneeling position, toes pose. If you want to keep your toes tucked is great. Arms rise up and overhead. If kneeling on shins is too tough, a blanket under knees or under buns between heels. Before we begin, we're going to fire up our breath. So bellows breath, guys. Tips of fingers come to shoulder heads. Elbows lifted up high, and our torsos are going to stay really long. Take a big breath and look to your right. In breath here. Out breath to look to left. In breath, looking to right. Out breath, looking to left. So it's going to sound like this, my friends. In, out, in, out, in through nose, out through mouth. Speed up to a pace that feels really, really good for you. Eyes can stay forward if your neck is giving you a hard time. Otherwise, we look, we look, we look, we look. It's a quicker pace than you're used to because we want to get really energized since we're going to come to standing and get our bodies warmed up together. Length through your sides. Lifted from crown of head. Elbows still lifted up to shoulders. We have 4 more. You can keep the slow pace if you love that fast. 2 and 1. Slow yourself down. Arms lifted overhead might feel a little like, ooh, that's the best part. And then we rise up. Big breath into the top. Hold your breath. Retain here. Tongue to roof of mouth, belly up and in, pelvic floor up and in, hammock your organs, stay breathing, stay holding, exhale, release. All right, if your toes are tucked and you need a little release, tap them. We have 1 more round to get us going. So I'm just giving myself a little drum roll here if your toes were tucked. When you're ready, come on back. Regular kneeling or toes pose. This one won't be as long since we know what we're doing. Hang in, guys. Sitting up really, really tall, arms lift. Fingertips to head of shoulders, elbows lifted. Okay, belly in here. Eyes to the left, breathe in. To the right, breathe out. I love to start slow just so we can get the feel of this. In through nose, out through mouth. Let's try 1 more slow. And then you find a pace, a speed that works best for you. Think about a washing machine, like really blowing in through your body, swiveling everything around, getting it all excited, energized, washed up clean and pretty, ready to move for the day. If your neck bothers you, keep your eyes forward to me. Just twist the torso. 8 more. Lift up longer. Elbows through the side bodies. Really press out long. Top of head longer. 3. 1. Back into center. Arms rise. Woo, shoulders get tired quick there, don't they? Retain your breath at the top. Pelvic floor up and in. Belly in. Tongue to roof of mouth. Really hold everything up and in. Stay with it. Relax your facial muscles. Arms down. Oh, okay. Take a second, guys. We're going to come to standing, so we want to do it really slowly when you feel clear-minded. Taking fingertips forward. There's no rush here. Rising slowly to a forward fold. Finding the tops of our mats. If you like props to warm your body in your sun salutations, it's a great time to grab them. And then get as upside down as you can. Really bent knees is so supportive for our first forward fold, but allow your whole head to hang. And if it feels like there's any smog up there from allergy season or just being tired in the morning, give your head a shake now. Like, I have no time for that and I need it to leave right now. So shake yes. Yes, we're about to re-energize and make this day the best of the week so far. Slowing any shaking. Looking up halfway. Taking as much time as you need to regulate, normalize your blood pressure so we don't get dizzy as we rise. Deeper knee bend, and then walk up your body with a little twist. Opposite hand walks up a little higher, a little twist, a little turn as we rise high to sky. Extended mountain pose. Lift up and pause here. Checking in with your breath. I like to find it before we move because we're really going to need it. A connection, breath between movement on every posture in a second here. Let's introduce some sun salutations. Arms lift again, a little bit bigger through your sides. Remember our blueberry picking on the tallest bush. Exhale, forward fold. Just melt forward and down, arms falling anyway. Halfway lift on your next inhalation. Exhale, release. Now you just breathe, yogis, any way it feels good. Right leg steps back. A kneeling lunge is wonderful. If you're ready to stay up, go for it. We did a little bit of hips in the beginning, so they may feel a tiny bit warmer than usual. Shift back to half split, lifting front toes or not, keep them plugged down. Shift back again, find child's pose. From child's pose, tuck 10 toes to scoop up. Try to scoop your hips up and back into your downward facing dog. Remember, we like bent knees, so our spines can be really long. Rolling forward to plank. Our modifications are always there for us if we need, and we're adding on, yogis. Knees might want to come down, tiny little chest push-ups. Corkscrew your elbows back so that when you bring your chest down just a fraction of an inch and back up, the backs of your arms are facing behind you, elbows hugging your clothing. Inhale, exhale, tiny little movements at the top. Warm up your hands, your wrists, your triceps. 3. The next one's going to be as slow as we can possibly make it, but we're coming all the way to the floor. All right, let's melt down, yogis. A gentle sigh of release. Slower is a lot harder, right? And then bring your big toes together, squeeze in through your midline. Hover your toes, knees and thighs. Hands are under shoulders or wherever you can make a little goalpost with your elbows. Hover them, tuck chin to chest, fog a mirror up under your nose. Breath is strong, big belly breaths. Float up on your in-breath with a big balloon belly. And then release, but try to stay high. Release your breath, but stay lifted. One more time here. Float up a little higher. As you're exhaling, try to stay lifted. Finish that breath and release to the floor. Back to child's. Tuck your toes, scoop your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Lift both heels, look forward, and do the tiniest of little tiptoe walks forward. Tiny, tiny. Feel your hamstrings. Bent knees are fine if your hamstrings are really tight. Forward fold. Rolling up to standing. Make it really liquidy in your spine. I love a sway side to side, or we can use our first trick of climbing up our bodies like ladders. Extended mountain pose, big breath in. Stay at the tippy top. Now check in with your breath again. Where is it? Can we feel it somewhere new? Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees. And remember, you can fall any way it feels good. Halfway lifting, lengthening top of head from tail. Release back to a deep fold. Each time we fold, seeing if we can pull our knees a little higher to our thighs and straighten just a bit more through the back body. When you're ready, left leg steps back into any lunge, kneeling. Might feel great. Shift hips back, half split. Let's really scissor our thighs together here. So we have a real good stretch, left and right across the right back of the leg. Shift back forward. How can you get to child's pose? Might pull it under belly. If we're a little stuck there, we could swing it out to the side, tucking our toes to find our dogs. When you're done and ready to move on, lift your hips up high. Rolling forward to plank. Half as many warm-up push-ups this time. Knees can come down or stay lifted. Tiny little ones, my friends. Inhale, exhale, just little ones. Yeah, like an inch. Great. The next one melts us to the floor, but can we pause at the elbows for just a second? Slower is stronger. Doesn't make it easy, does it? Let's lengthen. Top of head away from tail. Toes pushing away from hips. Fingertips come out to tent wide at sides, like airplane wings. Lift toes, knees, and thighs. Squeeze in towards the midline. Fog up your mirror under your nose and elevate your tented fingers out to the sides. Really strong airplane formation here. Lift your wings a little higher, backs of hands pulling like they're magnetized up to your ceiling. Re-squeeze through the big toes, squeeze into the midline. 4. Finding your breath, float up. Stay lifted as you release. 2 more breaths. The biggest one you have, guys, a big stretch up towards the sky. Stay lifted as you exhale. At the bottom of your breath, softly let it go. Well done. Child, push on back. Swing and sway if it feels right. Tuck toes, down dog. I love this part. Lift your heels. Feels great, right? Hug in your calves. And then give yourself that tiny little tiptoe walk. The longer you can make this, the more benefits to warming up your back body. And if it's really tough, we can kind of creep in with bent knees, or we can always just hands to thighs and walk up that way. Rise to sky. All right, one more round, and then we're gonna make this more fun. Exhale, release. Re-checking in with your breath. Halfway lift, breathe in. There's nothing new, ladies. One more round to remind us of what we're doing. Right leg steps back, lunging. So we really want to seal in how we feel here. Feel your hips. Shift back to half split, or if you're up high in your lunge, it would be a wide pyramid. Feeling the front leg stretch. So if I scissor my thighs together, it feels better, right? Rebend, child's or straight back to down dog. Notice how moving from one to the next feels. Breathe in, ripple your spine forward. Lighten the shoulders down from earlobes. No push-ups. We're just gonna come all the way to the mat. Slowly lowering, if possible, pause at elbows for a second. To the floor we go. Great job. You choose fingertips hovering close or far, or clasp your hands behind your low back with soft elbows, chasing your heels with your knuckles. Toes, knees, and thighs lift. Hug into midline. Fog the mirror under your nose, and then elevate back of neck as if that's being magnetized to the ceiling. Still breathing, free. Last breath. Pressing back to child. Maybe you swing and sway on the way back, really feeling it. Downward facing dog. Lift your heels, tippy toe walk in. And this is why I wanted you to really feel each posture, because we're closing our eyes when we get to the sky. Rolling up however it feels good. Use your body like a ladder, or just swing around. At the tippy top, big breath in. Okay, we can do this. We're gonna get through it together. Blink the eyes closed. Now really find your footing. You know you're safe here. You're on your mat. We've done this before. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees and melt any way to the earth. Let your crown of head fall completely to the floor. Feel the loosening in your neck. Eyes move up, but they're still closed. Halfway lifting. Bring your nose forward. Top of head to tail. Fingertips to shoulders. Everything is long. Release back to your fold. Left leg lunges back. Now just find your way, a soft landing. Use your muscles. If it's scary, kneel. Shift around a bit through your hips. Give them a little love. Shifting back to half split if we're in kneeling lunge, or wide pyramid if we're in higher lunge. Scissor inner thighs together no matter where you are. Child's pose or straight back to down dog, keeping eyes closed. Feel your way. I know you can do this. Become more in touch with your breath and body. Rolling forward and finding our way down. As soon as you get into plank or kneeling plank, all the way to the floor, we have options. Where are our fingers coming? Or are they clasping opposite thumb on top, behind our low backs? Fog up your mirror, tuck your chin, unwrinkle back of neck, close big toes, but lift toes, knees, and thighs. Magnetize back of neck to ceiling and really lift up as we breathe here. Long and strong. Breath is the same as body, long and strong. Last one in. Release everything to the mat. Just give yourself a hands come back under shoulders to sway your way back to child. Their eyes are still closed. Tuck your toes, find your downward facing dog. Now really feel it. Tuck your chin, lengthen back of neck. Possibly finding that ski slope again. Press ears a little lower under elbows, chest a little wider, and then we get that sloped formation in our backs. Lift both heels, hug your calves in towards the bones, and tippy-toe walk on in. That makes it way more fun, doesn't it? All we have to do is rise and we're done. So climb your way to the top as slowly as you can, really luxuriating and finding your newfound spinal length. Woo, scary up top with no eyes open. Arms reach, blink them open. Well, you did it. Great job, guys. All right, adding on. Exhale, forward fold. Right leg steps straight back. And we lower that blade edge of foot, finding a warrior one. So it might be helpful to step a little wider, left to right, climbing up the left thigh and rising. Sinking down really low here if possible. If we have no ability to sway our right hip forward, widen up a little bit more. Finding a good version of this where it feels like the intensity and the stretch is in the inner right thigh. Arms lift overhead. Beautiful. Clasp hands behind low back. And we're just gonna spread our wings for a second here. Give your chest a big opening stretch. Belly is in as we spread our wings. Remember our snap, navel to spine, ribs like a gate closing to hips, so we're not here. Okay, we're really tucked in tight. Let's spread our wings, clapping hands forward or just palming together. We don't have to make a noise. If it feels good, clap for yourself. Come on back. And again, rotate thumbs down and try to clap. I can't reach mine, so if you can't either, no worries. Thumbs up, give yourself a little clap. Thumbs back, spreading wings, but we're gonna add big body into this if we can. Reach forward, heart comes to me. Reach back, heart to sky without a flared open belly. Bring it in tall. Last round, breathe in and breathe out. Arms rise overhead, super. One more breath in here. Clasp all fingers except for your pointer and then point towards me. Try to tuck ears between elbows, make a little room there. Real intense on the left leg, stay breathing. Rotate back, toes in, frame out, front foot. And what do you want to do here? Flow through a vinyasa with me or drop to your knees, take a break, drop to table or child's pose, take a break, or find your flow. From downward facing dog, whenever you can get there, we're rolling forward, releasing on down. Just a gentle back bend for one tiny breath in here. Pressing back to child's or straight to dog, you choose. Right leg rises high, a big, big breath in. Look between your thumbs and step forward. So we're all going to meet with our right leg forward in this lunge. As soon as you find your lunge, warrior one on this side. About a 15-degree turnout on that back foot, okay? I really want to solidify the blade edge down. Arch lifted in a semi-soft back knee. Climb up however it feels best. If you can't swivel at all forward, just step wider left to right. Should feel good. I want to feel energy on the back inner thigh, blade edge pushing down, a deep right knee bend, and then I uplift. Great, great, great. Open your chest. Same thing again on this side. A little clasp. Can you switch? The normal thumb, just switch them all. Makes it really hard. Try the non-dominant thumb on top. Nice. Spreading wings sequence. Come forward, clap forward. Coming back. Now our ribs are tucked down towards our hip bones and our hearts are lifting. Staying long in the torso without splaying open ribs. Add your body if you haven't yet. Come forward. Thumbs up. Come back. Thumbs turn down. Nice work through the shoulders too. Inhale. Exhale. Arms rise up and overhead. Big breath in. Clasp hands sit a little lower. Your pointer fingers are coming up to the top. And then right to me. As much as you can fold forward. Make it really intense. Bend deep in your right leg. Wiggle through right toes. Find somewhere to free up. One more big breath in. Rotate left toes in. Frame out front foot for lunge. You feel like flowing? If you do, it's your last chance at it. Or we can just chill out. Table, child's, dog, and hold. Whatever's right today, my friends. If you're with me, from your downward facing dogs, we roll forward into a softly landing back bend. maybe make it a little bigger, a little bit more rolly than the last one. Press back, potentially right to dog or all the way to child. Table and dog. Lift both heels, hug calves in. Tippy toe walk forward. And as you come forward this time, we're stepping our feet or toe heeling our feet out to about mat width, maybe a little bit more, into our squat of choice. High squats here. High squats are a lot harder strength-wise, but if you feel like you want to get down low, again, props under buns are great to support. This is a lot tougher flexibility in our hips-wise, so find what your body's asking for today. And no matter where we are, we're going to try to round our backs. So my high squatters would curl in like an angry cat. It's okay if we're using our hands if we're up high, forearms, or we can just let the hands fall and really round in here. If you're in yogi squat, pinky fingers, make a prayer, pinky fingers towards the floor and slide them forward to really round deep in your low back. Anywhere in between is great, ladies, a squatting cat. Lots of breath. When we round in, it really constricts our lungs, so it's difficult to breathe. We are aware of that. We slow down. And then the fun part, let's try to make our way back up into our squat and to the floor as gently as possible. Pretty hard if I'm up high, but I could put one hand in front and one hand in back and ease my way down. If I can, with knees open, I'll reach my hands forward and then slowly try not to plop, but the plops are funny. So whatever happens, happens. We find our way down. And I wanted to fire up our core like we did with our bellows breath earlier, but we're gonna breathe and move through a little core sequence. How can you get down to your back softly? Allow yourself to melt just for a minute. And before we move, check in. If we can feel our breath moving, that's great. If we have a hard time feeling it, you can manually see, am I getting that good diaphragm breath? Oh, that's so nice. It's a good booster. You're like, I did a good job breathing. Everything is inflating. When you're ready, yogis. Remember our bound angle from earlier? Well, I call this frog when we do a crunch. So we're going to find little frog feet, soles of the feet together and knees out. Just give yourself a stretch back here first. Holding on to something. We can do one leg at a time. Just trying to pull in here. We're making this little frog formation in our feet. And then when you feel like you could hold it without any hands, reach your arms up and overhead. This is tough with arms overhead, so you can always bring fingertips to temples and then elevate your upper body. Release back down. Little frog crunches. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Adding on, ladies. Close your knees at the top. Open your knees at the bottom. Close knees at the top, open at the bottom. If your neck is bothering you, you can certainly just do the legs. Join us when you can for the crunches. We have 4 more. Inhale. 3. All right, a little bit of Pilates action in here. Holding up your frog, upper body's holding up. If we can, or if we need to, we hold on to our legs. If we can, we karate chop outside the tops of feet. And then spread your legs wide for straddle crunch. Arms come overhead, reach overhead, frog crunch, let your head and neck rest. Exhale, straddle, like a karate chop. Inhale, exhale, frog to straddle. And if it doesn't feel good in your straddle, make it like a goalpost leg. Both knees bent. It might be a little too intense for our inner thighs. So we make these crunches our own. 4. 3 more. Use your breath. Beautiful. And 1. Last one. We're going to stay in the frog once we revisit it. Remember our karate chop? If we have to, we hold on somewhere. Little tiny pulses. Open your throat. Pulse from the collarbones. Up. Up. Think about that gate closing. Ribs to hips. Give your belly a big smush. It's a loving hug. So if we're able to, we're going to reach our fingertips and do those little karate chops past our pinky toes. 4. I know your inner thighs are tired. Stay with it. We have 1 more set. Straddle. Try to pulse. If your head and neck are really tired, rest for a second. Join us when you can. A karate chop right past your buns. Flare open your yogi toes. Give me some good energy there. Right energy in the toes. Makes everything more fun. 4, 3, 2 more, guys. Woo, that felt good. Can you hold at the top? Lift the bottom of your shoulder blades. Close your knees and thighs. Rest your head down. Whew, just melt into your mat. Your thighs may want a little massage or some knee rolls, whatever feels like it releases that tension in the hips. Good job on those core exercises. Okay, when things feel better, let your feet fall. Palms float up to the sky again. Remember that life-affirming breath, breathing in all the positivity, joy, and happiness your practice has to offer. And start to roll up. I like us to tuck our tailbones towards the backs of our knees. That way we can roll one little vertebrae at a time, really articulating spine. Less of a workout and more of a release in our belly. So just kind of float up, maybe roll around a little bit, swing like a hammock, whatever works, and then roll right back down. No set speed, yogis. Allow the tip of tailbone to close completely to the floor. You get that neutral arch in your back, and then belly down like a little baby cat-cow here to start. Tuck tailbone up, roll from the bottom of spine all the way up if possible. A little bigger this time, but still relaxed. Soft belly, supple belly is strong. Last time rolling down, and then we're gonna stay at the top. Come on back up. Once you're fully released, your low back has got that beautiful arch, then reconnect to the floor. Re-rise through the spine. Scoot your arms wherever they feel supportive, but I love you to keep palms up so that we aren't pressing through our palms and strengthening in the belly and back as opposed to clenching in the shoulders. All right, we're up, up, up in our biggest, most expressive bridges. Wiggle through your toes, but stamp your heels down and drag them towards your shoulders like you're gonna crumple your mat under your backside. Tuck chin just a tad, lengthen back of neck, and move your heart more forwards towards your nose. All right, my friends, stay here or move with me. A marching bridge, right knee into chest, right knee back down. Left knee into chest, soft landing through the feet. Breathing in on whatever side speaks to you and breathing out on the other side. Finding that dance, breath moves body. Last one on each side, and we can stay with this or move on for one more tiny set. Reaching toes to sky, bend, straighten, rebend, release. Bend, straighten, rebend, release. If you need a break, take it. Roll down, roll back up to join us if you can. We have 4 more of these, and if this leg extension feels so good, stay with it. I like to use the toes to boost me up. Ready? A little boost, release. Last one. Last one over here. Okay, squeeze back again. Everything switches back on. One final breath in. Heels stamp down, drag toward shoulders. Allow arms to move away if you tucked them under your wings a little bit. And then release. 1 vertebrae at a time. Allow your back to find that little cow shape. Replace low back down, like we're crunching into cat, and then hug your knees in. Great job. I just love to do a little core work at the end. Roll side to side. If anything feels tight, sometimes if we clench too much, our neck can feel tight. So if it does, stop your roll, look over your right shoulder, look over your left shoulder. You could keep going with that. Whatever needs a little bit of work right here, let's do it. And then take your knees wider, starting to circle the knees out, like you're trying to circle around your armpits. Probably went out the first way, right? So let's switch directions. If it feels too wonky, just keep it on the same side. All right, my friends, well done. Let's do a lying cow. We're gonna take our left knee over. Either ankles can cross or whole knees can cross. Remember our cow face, our Gomukhasana legs, our knees stacked. If you can, grab a hold of something on the outside of each leg, all the way down to blade edge of foot. And then give yourself a little crunch. Squeeze your knees to your chest, but then use your hands to really squeeze heels to butt cheeks. Then we feel the top leg, the outer thigh, and into the glutes, stretching out beautifully. Oh, I love that. And then think about tucking in your chin again, lengthening out back of neck, allowing tension to drip off your face, leaving a heavy imprint here in the mat today. How do you think you want to switch? Do you just want to shuffle around? Or I like to take my legs wide. Not everyone likes this, so just kind of go slow and see how you feel. A little straddle, and then scoot legs down, scoot legs up. Find a great place for your inner thighs to let go. Might find a little crunching in the hips. I always think about that as new space opening up. And then when you're ready, right leg crosses. We could just do the ankles and hug in here. But if possible, cross your legs so that your knees are stacking. Crunch your knees in so you have accessibility to grab. If they're out here, they're hard to find. So crunch in, grab something, play with flexed feet versus pointed toes. They all make a difference. Yes, and then when you're ready, try to hug your heels in towards your cheeks. And if your knees started pointing at the sky again, try to squeeze them back in. I want to feel the most on my right outer thigh here. Tuck chin. Let your shoulders melt back heavily. One more big breath in. And on that next exhalation, let your legs go. Do whatever you think you need, whether it's another gigantic squeeze. It's really nice to kind of squeeze everything in, light up everything, squeeze your fingers, squeeze your toes, squeeze your face, squeeze your jaw, do all the squeezes, one tight, tiny little ball, and then just go, and release, falling out. But if you need something else for your body before we rest at the end of class, please take it. Your resting could look like a fetal position, rolling onto your side. It could be on your back in corpse pose, extremities away from our midlines. Legs to sky or legs up a wall. Seated as we started. The way that you're most comfortable is the way that we should rest. We want to get so comfy that we can soak up all the benefits from our practice. Reconnecting with our breaths. Again, taking a moment to honor our bodies by filling ourselves up with gratitude. Everything we did today was perfect and exactly as it should have been. All the breaths, all the movements. Sometimes the things that we take for granted in lives are the things that we should appreciate the most, such as our breath. If your yoga practice is the only time you're really focusing on your breath, you're not alone. That's why we're here together. We take those breaths for granted all day, every day, right? But I love to think about what they have to teach us in each posture. Notice how every breath is unique, where it flows, where it ebbs, where it constricts. So always observing the breath. And this awareness is what we take off of our mats into our daily lives to live our yoga is just a simple re-acknowledgement of presence. Whether it's noticing a dewdrop on a flower leaf or noticing the rustle of some tree branches or something silly that your kids are doing or your pets, or reconnecting with your breath. Presence is key. That practice that we take off our mats is the utmost goal. As you're breathing and observing, filling yourself up with gratitude, simply for the breath or for bigger intentions that we had, maybe filling up our low backs with breath. Observing our movements with kindness and compassion, letting that inner judge, inner critic quiet and become less important in our lives. Whatever our practice may have been, soaking up all the good. I like to think about sending what we've gained, the balance, the coordination, strength, the connection between mind, body, and breath. Send it all the way to the tips of toes, fingertips, the tips of your earlobes and all of your hair follicles. Make all your cells feel really smiley, happy, free. Let's take 2 more big breaths in, just like that, trying to send them to new cells, soaking up all that goodness. Spreading it a bit further, maybe an extra sip at the top of that breath, and then a big sigh of exhalation. Last collective breath. Even though we have these virtual borders, we still are as one, and it's so beautiful to join our breaths together at the end of our practice. And then I encourage you to stay longer today if it's available to you. Wouldn't it be so nice just to soak up another 5 minutes of our relaxation, our little meditation, our Shavasana? If you have to get moving today, I totally understand. Let's do it really slowly by becoming aware of our senses, starting to notice the sounds around us, becoming really in tune with colors, textures, lights, things we're seeing, things we're feeling, temperatures, soft, rough, scratchy, wet if you sweated a little bit, nice and dry, however you're feeling. Things you're tasting and smelling, maybe toothpaste, coffee, lip gloss, scents in your body or hair. And once all your senses are tingling and awake again, then it's time to roll around in our bodies. Bring movement back slowly and gracefully. Wherever you are, making your way back slowly, no rush, to a seated position. And as we join one another, recalling any intentions you make in the beginning of your practice, whether it's simply connecting with your breath, or maybe you dedicate it to a certain someone or a bunch of people in your life, know that your practice makes you a better version of yourself, and that undoubtedly impacts everyone that you come into contact with. So well done for making that commitment to your own self-care and the well-being of everyone that you're in contact with. Bringing some intention back into our minds. One final breath in together. I like to close my hands at heart center. Taking a little bow to my practice, tucking chin towards fingertips. And as we breathe that big, beautiful last breath in together, a big sigh of exhalation, I would like you to know that the light that is inside of me honors, acknowledges, is so grateful for, truly inspired and humbled by the light that is every single one of you. So happy to practice with you today. I hope you have a wonderful day and the rest of your weekend. Namaste, my friends. Thank you for joining me.